How's it going, everybody? Welcome back. We're now here to talk about Phase 3, and I decided to bring a guest with me. Hello.
Hello.
This is Jen, and
Hi.
I got her. Well, you kind of got into this whole thing pretty much in Phase 3. You saw a couple of movies beforehand, but
I saw Avengers and I didn't like it.
Just gonna drop the ball right at the beginning of this thing.
Just gonna say. I saw Guardians of the Galaxy. I didn't like that either.
Yeah. Okay. Well, the good news is in this phase, she likes these movies.
I like most of them.
Yeah, most of them. We're gonna start off pretty nice and casual. Sorry, I have to step the books. And also, we did pretty recently watch the Infinity War. Anyway, we're gonna start off light and kind and casual with Civil War. Oh. Yeah, so we're starting off with a really strong contender and also a really emotional contender. Yeah.
It made my skin hurt.
Yeah, it's a rough emotional movie. Like, this is actually, in fact, one of my most favorite Marvel movies, and
it's really good.
It's really good. It's a great Captain America movie, Avengers movie, just whatever you want to name it. It's complicated too. So it kind of deals with a whole bunch of things at once. The idea of, should these superheroes be under watch or not? Should they keep themselves responsible, or should they put the responsibility on someone else? And it kind of gets a lot more personal as things go along. So it begins with the Sokovia Accords and whether or not they should sign it or not. And personally, I think they shouldn't sign it.
You're wrong. This is what this movie does to people. Which
is actually really great. If this is when it has a movie where you really consistently argue what's right and what's wrong, and you're never really fully wrong. You're never really wrong. You know, the whole thing. You choose whatever side you want to choose. Team Cap, Team Tony, Sokovia Accords or not. The argument always stands every time. Every time I watch this movie, there's always that debate on whether or not they should sign or what team you're on, who's right, who's wrong, all of that. And it really brings it into that complication. And also, it really kind of puts to head exactly the weight, mainly the two main characters have. Tony, who kind of was in a way the first the first in the MCU in general, but really the first to be put into the spotlight, dealt with a lot in the past 8 years. And as on top of the fact that he already was starting to deal with PTSD in Iron Man 3, and it's only gotten progressively worse. He made a giant robot, destroyed a city, so he kind of hits himself with blame a lot. So it doesn't help when some lady strolls around the street, gives him a picture saying, "You killed that boy." And you're like, "Oh, he did. Kind of did."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's why Team Iron Man.
What?
Well, I'm saying that he was right. We should have signed the Accords. The Avengers need to be held accountable. And
then I'm saying that people have agendas, especially when the guy that's showing me this stuff is General Ross, who wants the Hulk for his power in general. I don't trust that motherfucker, but that's just me.
Okay.
I said motherfucker. I'm gonna bleep out my cursing in this video.
You should.
Yeah. Yeah, so there's that. Then you got Cap, who is doing another mission, but unfortunately it did lead to casualties. And he's trying to fix up that responsibility. He's putting it on him because Wanda's still a kid. And, it's a pretty heavy situation all around. And on top of that, Peggy dies. So, yeah, Steve and Tony are really having a good time. They're kind of really at the cusp of exactly what they can handle. And then it really comes to a head when the idea of another bombing happens. It's blamed by Winter Soldier. And obviously half the Avengers think, okay, we need to bring him in. And then him and the other Avengers think, okay, we got to take a second here. This doesn't make sense. It's not his MO. And it really all leads up to a really emotional fight when Tony kind of realizes Winter Soldier kind of killed his parents. Yeah.
It all just hurts.
Yeah. Because you got that. You got Bucky, who is being more of himself, but remembers everything that he did in the past 70 years. It's heavy. It's a heavy movie. It's just fantastic to really kind of deal with that kind of serious situation. And there are movies that try their best to do something like this. I can think of one in particular.
I don't want to think of any. Are you trying to get me to think of Batman versus Superman? I like that movie.
But to have that kind of debate as to what's right and what's wrong, and then to have a villain, this is actually one of the first villains to actually kind of say, Phase 2 really gets really good with their villains.
This is a really good villain.
Yeah, because you get where he's coming from. You get exactly why he's doing it. He never really feels to me like a full on bad guy. It almost to me feels like there's no true antagonist.
Yeah.
But it's just, you know, everyone has, you know, things that they're dealing with, and it just comes to a head. So, yeah, this one was a complicated and really, really good movie. I know people complain about people didn't die. To me, that's not what it's about. But, you know, I digress. One of my favorites right here. A lot of these are my favorites, so... But yeah, this is good.
Yeah, very good movie.
Okay, cool. Okay, so... It's always going to be appropriate. Alright, so now we're moving on to Doctor Strange. Yeah, tell me your thoughts about Doctor Strange.
I don't remember Doctor Strange.
Oh, it's cool. It's basically Iron Man with magic.
Okay, that makes sense.
Let's be frank. That's about it. It's not bad. It's okay.
It has Benedict Cumberbatch in it.
Yeah.
And he's awful as always.
Wow.
He's just always so obnoxious. He's rude. Like in the way that you love to hate it. It's great.
Yeah, his character being an asshole in general, it fits for Doctor Strange. I know people like compliment this by saying it's like one of the weirder ones. Like I said, it kind of there's a lot of
weirder.
Yeah, there's a lot of point. We're gonna see weirder later on. Mm-hmm. Like I said, it's the same thing as Iron Man, really. And then to have kind of a bit of a racial controversy with one of the characters.
Yeah, that just.
So. Yeah. So yeah, that's kind of an issue, but it's an okay, origins movie.
Hannibal was in it.
Hannibal was in it. Made a great name joke. I still enjoy that name joke.
That was pretty good.
It was a good name joke. But that's about it. I mean, much on this one. It's an okay origin movie. That's really about it. And, origin movies, they can either be stellar or just eh. So, yeah, it was eh. We got Guardians Volume 2. I'm realizing I'm showing this to people and they're just steelbook pictures. So maybe you'll get it because it says Groot, but I don't think you're going to get an eye being Doctor Strange, but...
I definitely don't. I don't remember that part.
But anyway, so Guardians Volume 2. I feel like it's a bit polarizing because some people say they like the first one better, some people like the second. I'm in the boat, I like the second one better.
Same here.
Yeah, because I said before the first one built the galaxy, kind of like the idea, culture around the universe itself. While this one focuses on the actual characters of the Guardians. Each one, their motives, why they are what they are, who they are.
It explores families and building a family.
Yeah.
And it's really beautiful.
Yeah, exactly.
People who just needed a family just coming together and being each other's family. It's really pure.
Yeah, exactly. And that's really nice. You know what? Someone actually mentioned a really good point. So the idea of all the other characters is the fact that they're not trying to do this for themselves. They're trying to do this for their family, them, and then the universe itself. While Peter's dad, who's a planet, happens. His name's Ego, and he wants to try to just make the universe one. He just tries to build his own ego. Fun. There's a lot of growth to it, which is kind of funny because I feel like in Infinity War, Peter kind of went backwards a bit. Right, I'm not going to talk about that too much. But yeah, so I thought that was very good characterization. This actually had a very significant death, too.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Mary Poppins.
But, and then, Gamora and Nebula, their relationship is really, really nice to see, actually being sisters. That's really nice.
That's really nice.
I'm a huge fan of it.
Yeah, that was really cool. That was a deep personal level.
Something we really hadn't seen before yet.
Yeah.
Just that sister bond.
Yeah.
I don't have a sister, but...
but you still kind of felt it.
Exactly.
I always love Drax. He's always, the funny guy, because he kind of half gets everything that's going on. But the fact that, that specific emotional scene with Mantis, and he kind of talks about his family, and then because he doesn't show it, but Mantis feels the emotion for him. It's just oh yeah.
Mantis is such a good addition.
She is.
She's so sweet.
She's sweet and innocent. That's nice.
Great character.
It kind of felt like the director was able to kind of be more of himself with this movie. I felt like directorial wise, camera wise, colors, the story itself. I kind of felt like it was a little bit dark. I wouldn't say darker. The movie kind of gets a little bit raunchy. A little raunchy. Which is cool. I'm down for that. I thought it was pretty neat.
It's pretty funny.
It is funny. And that's okay. We have serious movies in this universe, and then we have movies that are comedies, which is, I think that's pretty cool. And then ones that are in between, that's nice. But, yeah, so I love this. Another one of my favorites.
It was so good.
Yeah, this was a good one.
And it didn't make me feel that much pain, so...
Not like other ones.
No. Oh, I was thinking Civil War, but now I'm thinking of... Never mind!
Okay, we're just... Anyway, so, moving on from that... Ooh, I don't need to tell you what this one is. I think it's clear. If you guys don't obviously know already, I'm a huge Spider-Man fan. If you don't know about their cosplays, my videos, the shirt I'm wearing... Because I've seen the Tobey Maguire movies. I've even seen The Amazing Spider-Man. I have mixed feelings on that one. Maybe I'll talk about that at some point. But
I like the Tobey Maguire ones, but I like this one too.
Yeah, this is actually personally and you just talk about personally. This is actually my favorite Spider-Man movie, and it's because we grew up with the Tobey Maguire ones, but this one really spoke to me as the character. Because the comic books, TV shows, like video games, stuff like that. He reminded me the most of what Spider-Man is, both as Peter and both as Spider-Man. He's just a kid. Especially at this point, he's naive. He just wants really to be Spider-Man, especially having gotten the chance to fight with Iron Man and whatnot. Tony helping him out with the suit. He really wants to be part of that world, and this whole movie is him learning that he's not ready. On top of that, again, to deal with a villain, they have really good with the villains.
Really good villain.
With Vulture, which he's to me he's like a C-list Spider-Man villain in the comic book. So to kind of like just jack him right up with Michael Keaton, because he just can't help but play bird-related. Super people.
Bats aren't birds.
Bats are not birds, but they fly.
They're winged.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
A winged thing.
Gonna make me feel stupid on my own channel.
No. Iron Man's in this one.
Yeah.
And he's doing better. And he's like coping with his mental illness well, and that's just really good. I really like that part.
Oh yeah. That was a very big point. It kind of looked like because he really needed just some time to himself in Civil War, so it kind of looked like he was doing that. And on top of that, to be like the surrogate dad to Peter, I actually really like that.
I really like that.
That was really nice.
Was
I know some people argue like, oh, he just looks like Iron Man 2.0. I feel like with this point, to make his character work, it's gonna have to end up being like that, because it's to mentor him to be a better him, basically. So I think that fits. I love all the characters too. Like it felt like Queens. Like he has a whole bunch of
his friends are great.
His friends are great. MJ.
Great.
Oh, to low-key stalk him throughout the entire movie.
Loki.
Low key. Yeah, so to kind of just under the radar stalk him. She just shows up everywhere. Claims she's not. She's lying. She's straight up lying. Yeah, and it's all multicultural too. It's Queens. It's New York City. Come on, it's a whole bunch of characters there. I also really appreciate the little detail from going to the Dominican deli. Just talking to this guy about a sandwich, and then the dude thinks he's slick, trying to speak about his hot hands in Spanish, and he just brings it back on with his daughter. Like, he's a good burner. Like, this one's a good jokester. I like this. That's another thing I love about it. Because Spider-Man's always does that. Like, especially in light of like situations, and it's kind of his fear mechanism, but he always makes jokes. So that they really did that, and then the awkward nerd part too. It's just. This to me was just like, I was hoping for something like this for ages. So because a year later, because Spider-Man 3 came out, it wasn't a fan, but a year later Iron Man did. And then they did that promise of a bigger Marvel universe. So you think, oh, Spider-Man. And then, no, never mentioned again. Then the Amazing Spider-Man comes out, we're all thinking, and that's around like the Avengers era. Oh, cool, so he's going to be the Avengers. Nah. They were just like, maybe, no. And then finally, after Amazing Spider-Man 2 doesn't do well.
Not really a tragedy.
It's not really a tragedy because we got this.
We got this.
Yeah, we got this. And so this was...
Happy ending.
Yeah, happy ending. Happy ending. Very happy one for now. So we're going to move on to the next one, which is... Remember I told you about, like, I'm waiting to talk about the Thor movie I care about? We're at that point now.
This is the only Thor movie I've seen.
Yes, it really is.
It does have Loki, not low-key, but Loki.
Why would you do this to me? But yeah, like, because you really don't need to. That's the whole thing. Like I said, I've never really quite cared about it, and because you see him in Thor enough, like and it does well. It completely does a different dynamic in general. Like the other one, yeah, it's funny. It's colorful. It has like a dynamic. Like I described this movie like it's kind of like a mural you would see on like an '80s van. It's directed by like this really awesome indie director who does really fun like weird stuff. So this is the one that's weirder than Doctor Strange.
It is weirder than Doctor Strange.
Weirder. I think,
and funnier.
Yeah, and Guardians 2 I think is weirder too.
I would agree.
Yeah.
I would agree.
Yeah, so like there are movies that are weirder than Doctor Strange, and this is one of them. I love bringing in the Hulk, like to finally have him show up.
Yes.
Because he hasn't showed up since Age of Ultron, and I really need him and like to have his own story. And I know we're probably never gonna get that, but to have him in here with Thor, that was great. And because now he's kind of his own character, he's kind of separate from Bruce, which is kind of neat. And then the Thor, like visiting Thor and Loki's like brotherhood, which was really nice, kind of really getting into a certain point. Thor always falling for Loki's like, you know, tricks and whatnot, and then him kind of getting it now was kind of nice to see his characterization. And also the idea of just like he was a different Thor, like he was only into the Asgard stuff, so he's been with Earth for years, and you kind of see like he's kind of picked up on a lot more Earth related customs and whatnot, even though the email scene is still funny. Which brings me to actually Doctor Strange. Because he was great at this one. He was there for 5 minutes, and I loved him better in this one.
They let him be a jerk. That's just who he is in his nature.
Yeah, so that was really fun. That was really cool. Korg. I love him. I love Korg so much. He's fantastic. It's just like this one, and it doesn't hide away from the fact this is more of a comedy than anything.
Jeff Goldblum's in it. He's hilarious.
Yeah, he's just Jeff Goldblum. That's just all he is. Yeah. And the other interesting thing is like it does actually show like, you know, in the first few minutes, like, okay, what the other Thor movies were in, like, kind of a parody play, which was kind of funny. Because after that, it kind of rips away pretty much everything the other Thor movies were. From, like, the hammer to the hair to the Asgard to the to his other friends that kind of just really just quickly die. You don't know those were his friends.
No, I don't know them at all.
Yeah, that's the thing. Because, again, it doesn't really matter. Like, I didn't feel much of anything when they died, and I feel like I should have. Oh well, but at the end of the day, it was a fantastic movie. This
made me want to watch a Thor movie.
Yeah, so
that's
like
rare.
It's fun. It was weird. It was colorful. All that stuff, and Hella was an okay villain. Well, It's not like she's not like the other ones, but she was fun. That's the thing. It's fun. This one like really kind of just took fun and just really just fun, which is awesome. I love this movie. Another one of my favorites. Like I said, like four of the five movies we talked about are amongst really my most favorite Marvel movies. So, and this is just another one. All right, but and it's all happy and go lucky, and it's not like something bad happens 5 minutes later.
Don't say anything. Talk about the next one.
Let's talk about the next one. I don't have it yet because it didn't come out when I made this, but I want to talk about it. Black Panther.
Yes.
Where do we begin with that one?
Where do we begin?
Yeah, like that's the thing. There's just so much about this. Like, not only does it make the character of T'Challa really fantastic, and the just Wakanda itself is its own character. Really, to kind of celebrate not only just pretty much a culmination of African culture, but just to really make a city that I just so desperately want to live in. It's just so beautiful and futuristic and just cultural.
Every shot is just so beautiful.
And let me talk about the music. I love the music so much. I still listen to it, even in the bath. Don't worry about it. It's in the bathroom sometimes. It's just really good.
It's really good music.
It's just really, really good music. I love the action scenes too. The suit and whatnot. And then, talk about good villains.
Yes.
Holy crap. Killmonger was, wow. To say, like, you get where he's coming from is just kind of putting it mildly. Because it's just, you really get where he's coming at, you know? Not to say he's a good guy for doing it, because he still has his own motives. It's not like he's of the 70s Black Panthers, which I know in a way like there's some inspiration from that. He's not like that, but you know, but yeah, you can see exactly where he's coming from, why he wants to go to Wakanda and whatnot. Like it's the idea that, you know, Wakanda is this massive, beautiful place, but obviously they made mistakes too. They hid themselves even when people needed them. So. And that's kind of a thing to deal with. And T'Challa is the one that has to deal with it, you know, to kind of come to realize the kings that have come before me in a way kind of failed, and I have to try and fix them. You see that with M'Baku, you know, he's someone that's, you know, living in the mountains, and for centuries they didn't want to even deal with them. and T'Challa was the one to kind of fix that. So all in all, it's just a really, really like just so much to it. The music, the world building, the characters, like really going into family again too. Yeah. You know.
Yeah, I would say probably best villain and best music. Possibly.
Oh God, yeah.
For both, I would say.
Yeah, I'd say both. It's really
so
good. Yeah, I can't say less than that because that's what it is. It's just really good. Yeah, so that's another one. Check it out and get it as soon as it comes out. Really, you're not gonna waste money on that one. It's beautiful.
It won't make your soul hurt.
Yeah, like the next one we're gonna talk about, right in the next video. We're not gonna talk about Avengers Infinity War in this one. We're still kind of trying to process it.
I'm processing it.
Yeah, so
my soul hurts.
Yeah, my soul hurts. It's a heavy to process. I might see it again just to kind of like really gather my thoughts. You're not. I know you're not.
I'm not gonna see it again.
But yeah, I know you're probably not gonna be in that video.
We'll see.
Well, yeah. So that's definitely a video. That's definitely a movie that needs its own video to kind of cover. But for now, yeah, I think that's about it. Yeah. So yeah, I think this pretty much covers the whole thing. Yeah. So yeah, Phase 3 was my favorite one.
I don't even know if I could pick a favorite. They're all just a lot of them are good.
They're all just really good.
Doctor Strange.
Yeah, Doctor Strange's okay. It's okay.
But yeah.
So that's about it. Tell me what you thought about these movies. You know, whether you liked them more or less. If you didn't like them, that's fine. You know, everyone has their opinion. And the whole deal, like, comment, subscribe, all that kind of fun stuff. And yeah, I'll talk to you after I gather my emotions and thoughts about Infinity War. We'll talk about that one next. I'm really excited. But anyway, I hope you guys take care, huh? See ya.